Yo, what's up guys, my name is Kyle Esse and I'm back again with another sample. And for this sample, it was inspired by babykeem's album Melodic Blue, in particular the song Boomin', cause it has that African type of vibe which I liked a lot, so I wanted to create that vibe for this sample. And I started with trumpets from Xenology, and they sound like this. And after having that melody from the trumpets, I wanted something that would be sort of like singing, so I didn't want to record myself. I got this loop from BandLab which I chopped up, and it's Chants. I don't know what it's saying, hopefully they're not saying anything wild, but this is how it sounds like with the trumpets. And after having that, I felt like I needed a bass line which will inspire me doing other harmonies with other instruments, so I added a piano from Piano Tech, and I decided to play it in a lower octave to create that bass I was talking about, and so it sounds like this. And after that, I decided to add a rhythm section where I added a percussion loop that I got from another sample pack, and it sounds like this. And from those percussions, that's when I felt like it was enough foundation for me to add harmonies with brass instruments, so I decided to add a horn from Sinful Orchestra, and it sounds like this. And after that, I added another layer of a horn sustain from Sonatina Orchestra, and both these horns sound like this. And so, because the horns are providing that mid-range area, the low mid and the mids, I wanted to add a flute to add to the high mid frequencies, and so the flute is from Sonatina Orchestra as well, and it's a flute sustain. It sounds like this. I then added a Trumpet Staccato from Sonatina Orchestra as well, and with the flute it sounds like this. So the trumpet is playing that main idea I had from the start, and the reason why I did that was I wanted to enforce or have something of impact at the end of the sample, so that it doesn't sound like it's just dying off just like that. I wanted it to sound more impactful towards the end. And I also added a vibraphone from Decent Sampler, as well as a brass pad from Expand to also complement these two layers, which were the trumpet and the flute, and these two layers sound like this. after I had all of this, I decided that I want an intro to this whole second part and last part of this sample. So for the intro I added a flute again from Sinful Orchestra, as well as a plucky sound from the plugin DP1, and the preset name is called Alleyway, and it sounds like this. And so with that said, let me show you the effects that I used for this sample. So for the percussion loop, I just took care of the low end, I didn't add much. And for the chants, I added a chorus plugin so that I can make the stereo a little bit wide. I also sent it to this reverb bus where I added a Valhalla plate to put it in its own space. And the reason why I went for a Valhalla plate is I wanted it to sound more towards the spectrum of it becoming vintage. So I didn't want like a hall or a room reverb, so I decided to add a plate for that. And then after that, for the trumpets, I added an EQ to shape the sound and also to get rid of the frequencies that I didn't want. And after that, for the horns, I added a vinyl plugin from Isotope. And the reason why I added this plugin is because I wanted it to be degraded just a little bit. In other words, this plugin is cutting out the high end, and when you cut out the high end, it puts it back in the mix and makes it sound a little bit vintage. And also with the warp. And for the master channel, I didn't do anything because I felt like everything was sitting in place. And yeah, it just felt perfect for me. And with that said, let me play you the final sample. And the final sample sounds like this. And that's the final sample. So the takeaway from this sample is, if you want to make an African sample, you should use a lot of percussions. If you can make them on your own, perfect. But if you can't find them from sample packs, chop them up or use them as they are. Hopefully they're royalty free. And also have a sort of like a singing layer or chants, or just chop up sort of like vocals to add that ear candy to the sample, and also add brass instruments and wind instruments, because those are the instruments that are usually used in African music. And with that said, I hope I was very helpful towards you if you wanted to make an African sample. And my new sample pack, Food for the Soul Volume 2, is out now. The link will be in the description of this video if you would like to purchase it. And my new single, also War Is Coming, is also out. The link is in the description of this video. And thank you again for your support. I'll see you 2 weeks from now. Thank you.